A pretty waitress enters the private room. Some rich young men want to have fun. They purposely drop a bill on the floor. The girl thinks it's a tip for her. When she tries to pick it up, a man stops her. He asks how she can just take someone else's money. He says she should return it to the owner. He mocks poor people for having no morals. They all laugh at her and make fun of her. Finally, they let her leave. Suddenly, the door opens. Mary loses her balance. She falls right into Peter's arms. She tries to get away, but Peter holds her tightly. Peter complains about her picking up dirty things. Mary quickly apologizes for her mistake. After apologizing to Peter, she runs away embarrassed. The girl's name is Mary. To save money for studying abroad, she works 3 part-time jobs every day to save money. She often eats free meals at church. Today, Mary brings a basket of corn to sell. She meets Peter, who is having afternoon tea. Mary's selling shouts bother Peter's tea time, but seeing how hard Mary works, Peter doesn't say anything. Soon Mary needs to use the bathroom. She asks Peter to watch her stall for her. Before Peter can say anything, Mary rushes off in a hurry. Peter feels a bit embarrassed, but he still helps sell some corn. Then the coffee shop owner comes to cause trouble. He won't allow Peter to sell things in front of his shop. Peter proudly says the stuff isn't his. The owner threatens to throw it away if it's not Peter's. Peter angrily says, "Go ahead and throw it." He even tells the owner to throw it all. Just like that, the owner dumps the whole basket of corn on the roadside. When Mary returns, she sees all the corn thrown on the ground. She angrily asks how he could watch the stall like this. Then Peter takes out a big bill. He says he'll buy all the corn. Mary's attitude changes right away. She smiles and picks up the corn from the ground. But as soon as she turns around, she starts complaining. She hopes they'll never meet again. But fate has other plans for them. The next day, Peter is having a party on a boat. Mary happens to come for a part-time job, but she gets dizzy from working too hard. She grabs a chair to avoid falling. Her hands accidentally touch Peter's legs. This scares Peter a lot. Peter shouts that he got scared. The pain makes Mary snap out of it. Right at this moment, Peter suddenly sees his foreign ex-girlfriend. He remembers her saying her father is in the mafia. When he broke up with her, he almost lost his life. This thought makes him shiver with fear. To his surprise, she even followed him to Korea. Peter doesn't have time to think. He grabs Mary's head and kisses her. Mary finally breaks free. She plans to teach Peter a lesson, but he suddenly grabs her. Mary demands compensation for emotional damage. After all, it was her first kiss. Peter points out she closed her eyes. Mary denies closing her eyes. Angrily, she threatens to sue for harassment. Peter says he didn't do it because he likes her. Mary looks shocked seeing his ex walking toward them. Peter tries the same trick again. He desperately holds Mary's head. Mary struggles and refuses. The ex calls out Peter's name. Suddenly she appears behind him. Peter lies that he and Mary are dating and that he loves her very much. His ex says she can't understand. She asks why he chose someone who looks like a beggar. Peter says they truly love each other, but his ex isn't convinced. She challenges Mary to a drinking contest. The loser must walk away. At first Mary refuses, but Peter promises her $2 million if she wins. Hearing about the money, Mary quickly agrees. Thanks to her father's influence, she has a strong tolerance for alcohol. Soon the ex-girlfriend gives up and admits defeat. Mary is thrilled about winning $2 million. Peter takes her to the counter to get the money. But when he turns around, Mary is already fast asleep on the floor. He has no choice but to take her to a hotel. When Tom arrives, he finds Mary completely drunk. He angrily asks Peter what he did to her. Peter explains they just had some drinks. Tom asks if it was just the two of them. Peter says Tom is number 1 in Mary's phone. He asks if Tom is her boyfriend. Tom doesn't answer. He carries Mary away on his back. The next day, Mary wakes up and rushes to find Peter. She demands her $2 million. But as she steps forward, she trips over a box. It seems like a romantic moment might happen, but Mary suddenly jerks her head up. The bookshelf behind them almost topples over. Blood starts pouring from Peter's nose. Things get even worse. He finds his limited edition watch is broken. He angrily points at Mary and demands she pays for it. Mary says to deduct it from her $2 million payment. But Peter says his watch is worth $100 million. Just the repair cost is $20 million. The huge amount shocks Mary completely. She could never earn that much in her lifetime. Finally, Peter reduces the compensation to $5 million. He takes Mary's phone number and tells her she must come whenever he calls. Now she owes money instead of getting paid. Today just isn't her lucky day. Next day, Mary sees a lottery booth on the street. She thinks with her bad luck, she probably won't win anything. But an auntie pulls her over to try. Surprisingly, Mary wins on her first try. She gets a box of eggs. Maybe luck is finally on her side. This gives her new hope in life. That night Mary plans to eat with Tom. As they're about to leave, Peter happens to come out the door, hearing they're going for barbecue. He drags his brother to follow them. Luckily the restaurant has no seats left. Peter suggests sharing a table with them, though Tom looks unhappy about it. But Peter's brother is Tom's boss. He has no choice but to agree. Mary greets Tom's boss. Then she pulls Tom over and calls him her boyfriend. This makes Peter feel upset. During the meal Tom puts some meat in Mary's bowl. Peter sees this and fake sneezes on purpose. This stops their sweet moment. When Mary comes out of the restroom, she finds Peter waiting by the door. Peter asks why she kissed him if she already has a boyfriend. Mary says it was just to help him deal with his ex. Peter lies that he'll tell her boyfriend about it. Mary doesn't seem to care. She says Tom isn't her real boyfriend anyway. She only said that because the boss was paying for the meal. Peter acts calm on the outside, but inside he's overjoyed. The next day Mary gets a call from Peter. She thinks he's asking for his money back, but he says things that confuse her. Peter asks if she ever thought about him. Mary asks why she would think about him. Peter admits he's thought about her many times. Mary can't believe it and asks again. Peter tells her to meet him at LTM before 1 p.m. He says he'll wait for her after hanging up. Mary feels too excited to calm down. She wonders if Peter likes her. She changes into a pretty dress and goes to meet him. Seeing her sweet and lovely look, Peter's eyes light up immediately. They walk around the supermarket like a couple. Peter uses this chance to confess his feelings to Mary. Peter hesitates to speak. Finally he asks if she wants to be with him. Mary freezes in surprise. Maybe she can't believe what she just heard. Peter interrupts Mary's thoughts. He tells her he's opening a bar. He asks if she wants to work there. But Mary thinks he just wants to keep her close to pay back the $5 million debt. She believes he wants her to work off the debt. Without answering, she grabs her bag and leaves. Later Mary works part-time at another party. She doesn't know. Peter's brother is hosting this party. Peter is mixing drinks there. He spots Mary in the crowd right away. He walks behind her to say hello. But when Mary turns around they bump into each other again. Peter jokes that she keeps bumping into him because she wants a hug. Mary feels embarrassed by his question. She quickly changes the subject. Mary asks why he's here. Peter says he's related to this event. He adds that it's his duty to keep an eye on her. Mary argues that her friend Tom has a higher position than him. Peter says proudly that his brother has a higher position. He threatens to call his brother to make Tom work harder. Mary helplessly tells him to leave her alone. Peter gets upset that she yells at him. Then he goes back to work. He sees Mary laughing with Tom in the distance. He thinks Tom isn't even her boyfriend, but cares so much. Mary also notices Emma standing near Peter. She mistakes Emma for his girlfriend. She complains. He brings his girlfriend to work. Both feel a little jealous. Mary gets distracted by the fancy wine glasses. She doesn't notice the shaky camera nearby. Peter waves desperately to warn her, but Mary doesn't understand his signals. The camera is about to fall on Mary. Peter and Tom both run toward her. Peter reaches her first and shields her. Luckily, they only get minor injuries. They're quickly taken to the hospital. Peter only needs light bandages. But Mary stays unconscious in bed. The doctor says she's just exhausted. When Mary wakes up, she immediately asks about Peter's injury. Mary asks if it hurts. Peter dramatically says it hurts a lot. He points to his chest, saying it's hurt too. He asks Mary what to do. Seeing Mary cares so much about him, Peter secretly smiles to himself. Before leaving, he reminds Mary on purpose. Don't forget, you owe me $5 million. He just wants an excuse to stay connected with her. Peter starts planning to open a bar. Mary happens to need a job. She asks if his earlier offer still stands. Peter pretends not to remember what he said. Mary stumbles over her words, trying to remind him. She repeats his words. Be my girl. Isn't that what you said? She asks. Mary prepares for tomorrow's bar opening. Peter's sister, Emma, brings a cake. She finds Peter isn't there, so she gives the cake to Mary instead. Mary learns it's Peter's birthday today. She wishes she had prepared a small gift. When Peter returns, Mary sings happy birthday to him. This unexpectedly makes Peter furious. He yells, who are you to celebrate my birthday? He says mean things to humiliate her. Would you do anything for money? He asks. Shocked Mary asks what he means. How far would you go? He pressures her. Want to come to my room? He adds. His words hurt Mary deeply. She realizes he sees her as that kind of girl. She slaps him and leaves in tears. But Mary doesn't know. Today is not just Peter's birthday. It's also the death anniversary of his best friend. Peter picks up the card from the floor. He realizes the cake was actually sent by Emma. Meanwhile, Mary remembers she forgot her bag halfway home. Suddenly, it starts raining heavily. Luckily, she finds a broken umbrella by the roadside. As she walks back with the umbrella, she spots an abandoned kitten on the street. Seeing how pitiful the kitten looks, she decides to bring it along. When Mary returns to the shop, she finds Peter asleep at the table. She can't help complaining. After saying such hurtful things to her, he still has the nerve to sleep. She tiptoes closer to him. Just as she reaches for her bag, Peter suddenly wakes up. He grabs her hand. Mary explains she only came back for her bag. Peter regrets his earlier harsh words. He tries to make peace with Mary, but Mary isn't having it. Mary accuses him of always looking down on people. She asks if he enjoys teasing others. Does he think it's fun to disrespect people? She asks if she looks like an easy target. She grabs her bag and prepares to leave. Seeing this, Peter quickly stands up. Peter steps forward to stop Mary. Peter whispers an apology. He says sorry again, seriously. Then he leans on Mary's shoulder like a child. Peter tries to make the girl he likes jealous. He purposely accepts flowers from another woman. He does this right in front of Mary, but he regrets it. The next second, he sees Mary comforting a struggling, older coworker. She even gives him a hug. Peter gets extremely jealous. He calls Mary into the kitchen. He asks why she hugs random people in the hall. He complains about her hugging others. He's very upset about it. Mary says he's a spoiled rich kid. He wouldn't understand ordinary people's struggles. Kathy sees this and asks if he's jealous. Peter keeps thinking about the hugging. He keeps muttering, "Why did she do that?" Kathy teases him, saying it's clearly jealousy. Peter stutters and denies it. He stubbornly says, "Who's jealous of who?" He laughs it off, saying it's ridiculous. That night Peter walks Mary home. He asks if he can come up for coffee. But Mary actually lives with her childhood friend Tom. She does this to save money. She doesn't know how to refuse Peter. Peter finds her nervousness cute. Peter pats her head affectionately. He says he was just joking. Tom, who secretly likes Mary, sees everything clearly. When Mary gets home, Tom asks if she likes Peter. Mary stumbles over her words. Tom already knows the answer, but he still wants to try. As he's about to confess his feelings, Mary's cousin suddenly calls from outside. They both panic if he finds out they live together. They're in trouble. Mary quickly hides in the bathroom, but the cousin rushes in and needs to use the toilet. Tom blocks the door. He lies that his girlfriend is showering inside. He tells the cousin to use the store downstairs. After sending him away, Mary finally comes out. Now they can't stay here. Mary spends the night in the bar storage room. The next morning she sees Peter just waking up. He has perfect abs. Mary can't help but drool. She compliments Peter, but she speaks too loudly and almost gets caught. Luckily Mary reacts quickly, but when she opens the door again, Mary gets scared when Peter suddenly appears. Peter asks why she screamed. Mary explains she got startled because he appeared out of nowhere. Peter says it's not work time yet. He asks what she's doing here. Mary says she just came early to organize the storage room. Then she pretends to complain about all the dust. Peter completely believes her. He tells her to clean properly. Soon Emma brings breakfast for Peter. She says it's flown in from a luxury hotel. Mary looks unimpressed. She mocks that she thought Emma made it herself. Though Emma has always liked Peter, Peter only sees her as a little sister. So he refuses without hesitation when Emma tries to feed him. Then Emma accidentally spills food on her own clothes. Mary laughs at her clumsiness, saying rich girls shouldn't do servant work. While Peter goes to get a towel, Emma announces to everyone without permission. She claims that Peter and her are dating. Everyone is shocked facing this love confession. Peter rejects her immediately. He tells Emma not to like him. Mary expected this would happen, but she still feels sad inside. After all, their social status is very different. The next day, they ignore each other completely. They even ask Kathy to pass messages between them. Peter tells Kathy to ask Mary for some cherries. Love really makes people act childish. They argue like a couple having a fight. That night, Peter finally admits he likes Mary. He explains why he rejected her before. He and Emma's brother were close friends since childhood. They even shared the same birthday. Every year, both families would go on trips together. But one time they got lost in the woods. Peter tried to stop him from going further, but Emma's brother wouldn't listen. He slipped and fell down a slope. His leg broke, and he couldn't walk. Peter went alone to find help, but when he returned with rescuers, Emma's brother was gone. Later police found his body in the woods. This left Peter with deep guilt. He always blamed himself for Emma's brother's death. Mary gently holds Peter's face. She comforts him warmly. Then she kisses him. Mary's bold move makes Peter fall for her completely. He then invites Mary to his room. Peter knows Mary has been sleeping in the warehouse. He gives his own room to her. As he's about to leave, Mary stops him. Peter thinks Mary wants to sleep with him, but Mary just says thank you. The next morning they eat breakfast together. Emma suddenly bursts in and sees them together so early. Mary feels nervous. Peter tells her to stay seated. He decides to fix things with Emma. He tells Emma he really likes Mary. He didn't reject Emma before because he felt bad about her brother. Emma refuses to break up. When she passes Peter's room, she sees Mary's things inside. She thinks they live together. Angry, she runs downstairs and calls Mary's friend Tom. She tells him they live together. Tom rushes over immediately. He tries to take Mary away, but Peter stops them. He pulls Mary close to him. Peter declares, "She's mine." Tom yells at Peter angrily. Just like that, the two men fight over Mary. But their punches accidentally hit Mary's face. Mary is shocked and confused. After calming down, they still can't stand each other. The two men keep shouting at each other. Mary yells at them to shut up. Mary doesn't want to hear them argue. She pulls Tom outside to talk. Peter suddenly gets upset. He asks why he can't hear their conversation. As Mary leads Tom out, Peter quickly stands up. He says he's fixed things with Emma. Then he pulls Mary back inside. He announces they're officially dating. The next day, Peter takes Mary to the beach. A tea dinner. Mary's favorite octopus is sold out. Peter can't bear seeing her disappointed face. He excuses himself to the restroom. He visits over 10 seafood shops, but finds nothing. So he goes straight to the ocean. The spoiled rich boy actually dives into the sea to catch octopus for Mary. He returns to the restaurant looking messy. Mary sees he's completely wet. She asks what happened. Peter lies that he saw an octopus crawling on the ground. Mary asks if he went swimming. Peter denies it, saying swimming, no way. He claims he's just sweaty from the heat. Seeing Mary enjoy her meal, Peter feels completely satisfied. At night, a man and woman stay alone in one room. It's hard for nothing to happen after a passionate kiss. Mary says they can only hold hands while sleeping. Peter can't believe it and asks, why just holding hands? He keeps asking if they'll really just hold hands. Mary firmly says, only holding hands. Peter desperately asks again in despair. Though Peter really doesn't want to, he still tries to meet Mary's request. While sleeping, he turns to get closer to Mary, but Mary pushes him away. Peter complains this isn't fair. He begs to at least cuddle while sleeping. Mary keeps refusing. She says they shouldn't even hold hands. Now Peter gives in and says he understands. He keeps mumbling how annoying. The next morning, Mary wakes up to Peter's kiss. Then she happily snuggles into his arms. They watch the sunrise together. But happy times never last long. On their way back to Seoul, Emma asks to meet Mary. She openly says Mary and Peter don't match. She wants Mary to leave on her own. But Mary thinks love shouldn't care about status. Besides, they truly love each other. But Emma confidently says he will come back to me eventually to win Peter over. Emma suddenly steps on the gas while driving. Her car crashes into a railing. Peter rushes out. After hearing the news, Mary senses something bad is happening. She asks if he's going to see Emma. Peter doesn't answer. He only says he'll be back soon. Emma's mom blames Peter for everything she says. Without him, her family wouldn't be in such a mess. Then she takes Peter aside. She asks him to marry Emma. Peter can't believe it. Emma's mom admits she once tried to break them up. She asks what else she can do because Emma threatens to die without him. She begs Peter to stay with Emma. Just let her have her way. Torn between guilt and love, he doesn't know what to choose. But after thinking, he painfully breaks up with Mary. He tells Mary he's going to marry Emma. Mary trembles and asks, "What about us?" She asks if they're really breaking up. Peter coldly says yes. Mary hugs him tightly. She begs him to change his mind, but Peter heartlessly pushes her away. He says this is his choice. Mary cries and says, if he leaves, it's really over. Peter coldly repeats, "We're done." Mary goes to her room, packs her bags, and prepares to leave. As she leaves, she still holds on to a last bit of hope. She wishes he would say something to stop her. But Peter doesn't even turn his head to look at her. With nowhere to go, Mary is taken in by her co-worker Kathy. Kathy hears about Mary's situation and feels angry for her. The two drink together late into the night. Peter's mom hears about it and goes straight to Emma. She tells Emma that since the incident, Peter has been getting psychiatric treatment. He hasn't had a peaceful night's sleep. She begs Emma to let her son go on the way back. Emma cries loudly in the car. She knows Peter doesn't love her. Even if she has him, she'll never have his heart. Meanwhile, Mary returns to the countryside to escape the pain. She helps at her mom's restaurant, but she's forced into a blind date. The man looks Mary up and down. He says women over 25 are like clearance items. Mary is speechless with anger. She yells at the man, then storms off. Mary's brother tells Peter about the blind date. Peter acts like he doesn't care, but then makes up an excuse. He calls Mary. He asks her what she plans to do with the stray cat they found. He questions her about the cat. He asks if she's just going to leave it with him. He says if she's leaving she should take the cat with her. Mary calmly says she'll come get it. She says she'll take it away. Then he casually brings up Mary's blind date. He says if she gets married he'll give her a wedding gift. Mary angrily asks what this means. She asks if this is how he should talk to her. She cries, saying how much she wanted to hear his voice these days. She says it would have been better if he never treated her well or said he loved her. After hanging up she finally breaks down and cries on the ground. Her mom sees this from afar. Her mom can't bear to see her so sad. She gives Mary some money. She tells her to rent a place in Seoul. She tells her not to give up on her dreams. Meanwhile, Emma meets Tom because she has no one to talk to. They have similar experiences. Both can't be with the ones they love. Emma gets very drunk. On her way back she stumbles and falls. Tom worriedly asks if she's okay to comfort her. He lets her lean on his shoulder. This makes Emma feel warmth she's never felt before. While Tom helps Emma apply medicine, Emma suddenly kisses him without thinking. When Mary returns to Seoul, her first stop is the bar to pick up her cat beer. But as she's leaving with the cat, Peter suddenly changes his mind. He grabs beer and refuses to let Mary take him. Mary asks why he's going back on his word. Peter can't explain himself. He stubbornly says, no matter what, the cat isn't leaving. As they argue, Mary gets scratched by beer. Peter sits her down and gently cleans her wound. Looking at this moody man, Mary feels she understands him less and less. On her way home, she remembers all they've been through. She finally breaks down crying. Peter is also troubled by what happened. He tries to drown his feelings in alcohol, but Mary gets a surprise. The homeless man she helped outside the bar is actually a famous French chef. He tells Mary his story. While in France he got news of his daughter's wedding, but it was during Michelin judging season, so he missed the ceremony. His daughter had a car accident during the wedding, but he never expected his daughter to have a car accident during the wedding. He feels extremely guilty about it. The man says when he first met Mary, she reminded him of his late daughter. He knows Mary's dream is to study in France, so he asks if she wants to leave with him. This is the opportunity she always wanted, but Mary seems hesitant about it. Meanwhile, Emma breaks up with Peter. She sees how unhappy he is with her, yet he keeps pretending to be happy. Emma realizes love means wanting the best for someone, not just holding on to your own feelings. Emma urges him to leave quickly, to go before he changes his mind. She shouts at him to leave now. Tom doesn't want Mary to go, but for her future, he fully supports her studying abroad. They say goodbye with heavy hearts. Little do they know Peter is watching from his car. Then Tom accidentally spots him after Mary goes upstairs. Tom tells Peter she's decided to leave. He asks Peter not to hurt Mary again. Peter asks if he's afraid he'll try to stop her. Tom scolds him for playing with Mary's feelings. Peter argues he never played with her, then admits he can't make Mary stay. Peter knows very well. He knows he has deeply hurt Mary's heart. Even if he says words to make her stay, she won't change her mind about going abroad. At the airport, Mary keeps looking around. She hopes to see Peter one last time, but Peter never shows up. She has no choice but to call him. Mary says goodbye over the phone. She tells him she's leaving for France. She says while working here, she was truly happy. She thanks him for all the wonderful memories. She says she's happy now, so she hopes Peter can be happy too. But when Peter rushes to the airport, Mary has already left with regret. After Mary goes abroad, Peter often visits her house. He looks at Mary's photos on his brother's phone. He calls out to his brother asking about a video he hasn't seen before. His brother says it was sent long ago. He asks if Peter never saw it. Peter complains he should have sent it to him sooner. Back at home, Peter plays Mary's video on the projector. He watches it with a silly smile. Then a foreign man appears in the video. Peter gets jealous and asks who that guy is. Didn't you say you were studying abroad? What are you really doing? Peter pushes the door open. He sees Mary lying on the bed, the person he's been missing day and night. He carefully walks closer. He studies her familiar face. Mary wakes up and gets scared. Still sleepy, Mary asks what's going on. She asks why he's here and says he startled her. Peter confidently says this is his house. Mary finally realizes. Then Mary's brother comes in to call her for dinner. He suddenly sees the scene in the room. He quickly leaves to give them space. After half a year apart, they meet again. For a moment, they don't know what to say. Her brother breaks the awkward silence. First he teases Mary, asking if she knows this crazy guy keeps coming to see her photos and videos. He complains that Peter is driving him crazy. Then he turns to Peter. Mary also told him to visit the shop daily. She wanted to check how Peter was doing. Mary shyly denies it. She says she just asked him to check on the cat beer. Peter gently pinches her cheek. He wants to make sure this isn't a dream. Then he asks Mary. He asks if she cheated on him abroad. Mary didn't hear clearly, and asks what he said in the days ahead. Peter follows Mary everywhere she goes. He's afraid she'll disappear if he looks away. Mary finally asks why he's always following her. Peter lies and says he's just doing market research. Then he follows Mary to a restaurant. He sits at the most visible table. He happily watches Mary without caring about anything else. He ignores everything the waiter says. Later, Peter greets Mary when they leave. He asks why she came to this place. When Mary says she'll work here, Peter secretly feels happy inside. Mary then meets up with Tom. She tells him she's staying in the country. She'll start as a kitchen helper. Her trip to France made her realize it's not about where you work, but your attitude. Tom looks surprised. He calls her Mary. Mary tells him not to call her that name. She jokes that he should call her Emily instead. Meanwhile, Emma asks Tom for help with work. Watching him work seriously, Emma notices his special charm. Maybe she ignored it before because she only cared about Peter. She realizes she overlooked this great guy. So she boldly asks if he wants to date. She says if he proves himself, the company could be his. In the following days, Mary works very hard. Peter picks her up after work every day. This makes her co-workers at the restaurant jealous. Peter blows her a kiss when he sees Mary. Her love-struck co-workers go crazy over this. As they leave, Mary sees her co-workers chasing after them. She grabs Peter's hand. She tells them, "This is my boyfriend." After Mary's response, Peter becomes more bold. He puts his arm around Mary's waist. That night they go to a bar. Mary notices Peter makes her the same drink again. She can't help but ask him about it. Mary asks, "Why always a mojito?" Peter doesn't hear her clearly. Mary repeats, "Out of all the cocktails, why did you choose a mojito first? Why always a mojito?" Peter asks if she knows what mojito means in Spanish. The answer is to cast a spell. It means he put a spell on her, a spell to make her fall in love. He says he'll try even harder.